Well, there. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. Welcome. Today is the last day of the series, How to Handle Difficult People. But really, we know it's not people, it's behaviors that we're dealing with. Because people are not really difficult, it's the behaviors. And so, if you are new to any of my streams, welcome. We do a cast every single week, and it has a different topic every 7 or every 14 days, depending on how long it goes. The one after this we'll be doing will be about the brain. You're going to love that one. If you're coming back, well, welcome back. Show me some love with a like, a support, something like that would be great. If you're on Facebook, John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. LinkedIn profile page, my YouTube, John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur, John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur, Twitch, or John C. Morley's serial entrepreneur, Twitter or page over there, Periscope. Welcome. And why don't you go ahead, besides showing me some love, why don't you go ahead and comment below? Have you had a difficult person in the last few days? And if you have or you haven't, have you used any of the techniques that I've actually shared with you? So tonight will be like the wrap up. So I think it'll be pretty cool. And lastly, remember to tag all your friends, colleagues, and associates and share it out to them after this cast. All right, let's get right into this because I have lots of great stuff to share with you tonight. So the bottom line, people are sometimes going to conflict with you. Now, you can't control everyone and you don't want to control people. But what you want to be able to do is to have a coexistence. Okay. Some people become very fearful. You know why? Because the thought of conflict sends them racing for the hills. I don't know why this happens, but a lot of people just have conflict. And conflict isn't necessarily a bad thing, but the thing about conflict is that you have to approach it and you can oftentimes get a pretty good solution that's a compromise. So great thing to do. Now, when we think about difficult people, remember, it's not the person that is difficult. It is the behavior that is difficult. All right. A behavior becomes difficult for a lot of reasons. Maybe they're going through something life altering in their life. Could be job, could be a divorce, could be a financial situation. Something that might be just putting them on the edge. And so that might be the reason why they're being difficult at this time, because maybe you've known them before and they're never difficult. Chances are, if you're talking with someone and they're difficult for some time now, but they've never been difficult in the past, it's not you. It's probably something going on in their life. It's important to be kind, okay? When you get a difficult attitude, be kind, all right? Can you find something in common? Maybe you both like football and you can talk about football, and that might break the ice a little bit. The important thing to do, though, is to stay calm, everyone. Most people want to pull out their hair and be like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I can't handle this. Now, there's something called, learning about their side and learning about your side. The thing is, when you share your side of the situation, okay, I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to be John, and the person is going to be Bob. And let's say Bob's exhibiting difficult like behavior toward me. Bob's always been a nice guy, but lately he's, really starting to become a pain. So I could say, hey, Bob, I know when I was just getting out of college, I don't know if this ever happened to you, but I was just so frustrated because I had all these things I wanted to do, but yet I wanted to get into them, but then other people were telling me I should take a break. And I was like beside myself. And I feel that in life, we have to do something sometimes because it's what's best for us. And the hardest thing for me was realizing that I needed to listen to one person, and that was my heart. So I don't know what challenge you're going through right now. I'm not going to pretend to say that I understand it. What I can tell you is that whatever it is, the best person that's going to help you through it is going to be you. Taking some quiet time and just mulling over with what's going on. And, if you want a friend to talk to or lend an ear, I'm happy to help you. And you've always been a great guy. These last few weeks, though, I can't get any projects approved with you. And I know my skills haven't gone down the train. Maybe they need some tweaks. I just don't think they should be thrown out completely. I mean, are they that bad that I should give up my career? They might laugh and might come back to you and say, no, John, they're not that bad. They're actually not bad at all. It's just I'm having a rough patch at home. No problem. Sorry to hear that. And let me take a moment. Let me go through them again this weekend and just kind of just see what's what and see what we can do and get on track. I appreciate you being patient with me. You see, when you're patient with somebody, they're going to be a lot more cordial with you. Now, there's a tactic of ignoring people. We know that one, right? You might say, gee, I don't want to ignore people. But, I'm a big fan of ignoring people when they're negative energy. I've said this before, and I've said this in many other casts before. If you're working with somebody, and let's say they're being disrespectful to you, or they're doing one of the things we talked about, you say, hey, could you stop that? And they do it again. Hey, could you really knock it off? And if they still keep doing it, you know what? Take care. And then they're going to want to change, and then it's going to be too late because you've already given them all those chances. And do you let that person back in your life? Probably no. If you decide to let them back in your life, you're going to probably have to let them in really slowly and let them know that it's not going to be a floodgate. It's going to be like a really tiny micro reservoir. But why is it that difficult people have these challenges? Why should I say, why do people have difficult behaviors? Well, we talked about one. It could be that they're having issues at home. It could be financial issues. It could be relationship issues. Could be issues on the job with other peers, right? It could be something in their own life. It could be health related. It could be a goal that they're trying to reach, but they haven't yet reached, and they feel so down and worthless about it. And they don't really want to share that with anybody. So they get all defensive so they can keep you at bay. They can keep you away, I should say, from finding out more. Now, we've talked about control before, right? You never want to control another person. What you want to do is control your behavior, okay? Maybe you work with somebody and you're trying to put something together, and then maybe you got a message back to contact a certain person for help because that's what was always done in the past. But when you reached out for this person to help you, you never got a response. You sent multiple emails, you left a few voicemails, but no one got back to you. So now you're frustrated from never hearing back. Maybe you start asking other people in the department to help you. And then you find several people that are willing to help you with the project and find out that they want to do it with a smile. So what happened there? Well, you worked yourself a way around a difficult behavior. And you know what's going to happen? chances are word's going to get back to that person about how great you are. And next time they're probably going to come back and say, hey, John, sorry to get back to you. Just had a lot of stuff on my plate. I know I shouldn't have left you hanging like that. I know my good buddy Joe worked with you, and that was awesome. Next time I really want to work with you. So again, I apologize. Oh, it's no sweat. See how that changed the dynamic? Sometimes when you want to get through to somebody and you can't, what do? Well, you befriend their friends, right? You talk with them if you don't already know them, and you try to get some common ground. Maybe you learn a little about the person. And then when that happens, you start to build this good reputation. And then they might start talking about you to their friend, to this other person, about how great you are, right? Take a bird's eye view of yourself, okay? This is something that a lot of experts have said to do. Take a look at yourself. And when I say look at yourself, turn your attention inwards. Is there something that you're doing that's making dealing with this person harder? Are you really part of the problem? Are you agitating them, right? Are you throwing logs on the fire or stoking the fire? Sometimes when you're trying to help, you might utter these words or these little innuendos. And the problem with that is they're abrupt and they come off showing that you're a condescending jerk. So, how do you handle somebody like that that's being so condescending? When a person's already agitated, you don't want to try to stoke the fire anymore. If you're talking with someone and you're not getting anywhere with them, stop, pull back. Maybe you just need some time or some space. I know that your heart or your intention is to work with someone. But when that person doesn't want to work with you, or if it's a relationship and they don't want to date you or they don't even want to be your friend, that's probably terrible, right? You ever had that kind of situation in your life where, you thought this person was like your greatest friend and then they knifed you in the back? Not literally, proverbially. And you didn't want to confront them about it. You were just sure in your mind that it was done, it was over. Because for someone to take that kind of an approach and a tactic to treat you so low, it's not someone you want to hang around with. I've had people in school that, lots of times you play a game with them, and we've talked about this before on the playground. But then they appear to come around to you when they need you or when they want you. For example, maybe you were I was a great student. Maybe people came around to you because you were great in chemistry, you were great in technology or computers, or you were great in math. And people came around you because they wanted to not just learn from you, but they wanted to learn from you, not just the topic, but they want to learn more about you and how you learn so they could kind of master that. Nothing wrong with that. It's just that you have very illegitimate intentions because you're not being genuine. You're befriending someone so they can help you get a B or an A on a test. That's terrible. How do you handle somebody like that? I had somebody in school that always asked to borrow my notes. And I was happy to do this, to give him my notes. And I remember one time um, we were doing something, and then the person was driving before me, and I said, "Gee, could you pick me up?" And they came back and said, "Oh, gee, John, I'd love to. I just got lots of stuff to do after school. I can't today." No problem. So I said, in the future, if you could ever give me a ride, that'd be great. A month went by. I said, "Hey, Jim, could you give me a ride today?" "Oh, I can. I get this. I got my girlfriend. I can't." "No, no problem." So it came time for midterms, and it was biology class. And Jim came up to me, and I said, "Hey, John, how are you?" I said, "I'm great. Listen, can I get your notebook for biology?" And I knew he was going to ask. So I didn't want to be nasty about it, and so he asked me, and I said no. And I figured he probably would have understood why I said no, but he pushed it. He's like, "Why are you being a jerk?" And I was trying to be polite, and I said to him, "Well, I think it's a two-way street." He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "It's funny how you always seem to come around me when you need my notebook or when there's a test or an exam or a final. But I ask you for so much one thing, you can't even take me home once. You couldn't help me set up for the dance because you were too busy. I asked you one time if I could join in on the game in the weekend, and you said you'd get back to me." "Oh, I'm really sorry about that." Well, I said, "You know what?" I said, "There isn't going to be a next time because I'm done. I'm tired of helping people that are superficial." "Well, no, no, you got to help me with them." "No, I don't, because we're really not friends. You're just trying to use me. Go ask somebody else. Why don't you ask one of the people you date? Maybe they have a good score in biology." And so there were a few girls that were in biology that were good, and however, the three or four girls that were very good in biology, I knew wouldn't give this kid the time of day because he was a total creep, and they would never ever help him. Also, because of the way he called them names, and he had innuendos, and it was just not good. So I knew they weren't going to help him. So I said, "Well, you know what you should really do?" He says, "What?" "If I was in your position, I'd go to the teacher and ask them for help." And he came back and he says, "Oh, I don't do that." I said, "What do you mean you don't do that?" "Well, I'm the captain of the football team. I don't ask teachers for help." "Oh, well, I guess you're going to fail this midterm, then, aren't you?" "No, I can't. I'll be off the team." Hmm. Fail a midterm, ask for help. Get thrown off the team, ask for help, be a little humble, maybe pass, stay captain of the varsity of the team. And nobody was going to help him. He went to the teacher, and the gentleman also knew that he was always coming around whenever it was like last minute. So he told him that, "Look, I'll help you, but after this, you're going to need to come in every single day, before school or after school, for an hour, and we'll go through things." He said, "Well, I can't do this." Like, "Well, then I guess I'm not going to help you after today." You can't do that to me. I mean, I'm like the head of the football team. How badly do you want a good grade in this class? I'm willing to help you, but I'm not willing to help you cram before a test because that's what you always do. So now he's thinking about it. He goes back to his coach, and the coach is pretty much telling him to suck it up and swallow his pride and get some help. He gets the help. The first test that he got back, he winds up getting, I think it was a B minus. Then after that, he had to come every day. So an interesting thing happened. The teacher actually went to see the football varsity coach and said, look, your student such and such isn't doing so well, and he needs to be seeing me every day for an hour, either before school or after school, or I don't think he's going to pass the course this semester. And so he heard that, and so I need you to, I guess, impress upon him that it's really important that he attends. I mean, that is if he wants to pass the class. He doesn't have to pass the class. I mean, if he doesn't pass the class, I assume he won't be on the football team, at least not as varsity or not as the captain. So the coach comes back and says, if he fails, let me put it this way: if he gets a D on his test or at the end of the marking period, he'll be on the bench until he can pull that grade up to at least a B. So I guess you got some motivation. So first day comes, he actually goes and sees the teacher. Everything works well. The next day comes, he doesn't show up. Coach sees him and he says, what are you doing? Oh, I'm just playing. Aren't you supposed to be with Mr. Thompson in biology this morning? Yeah, no, but it's okay. It's fine. No, it's not. And if you're going to keep this attitude up, maybe you should think about giving up football. And a light went off in his head. And at that moment, this kid started to stand up for himself and started to get the grades. So people are difficult when they don't want to do something, especially when something's new. They also become difficult when they have to be humble, right? And they have to ask for help. People don't want to do that. Not everyone, but some people. And after he started doing well, I think he got up like a B plus in the class. He was very close to getting on honors. And the coach asked him how he's doing. He said, fine. And so now the biology teacher said, now it's time for you to give back. And he didn't know what he meant. Well, it's real simple. There's a few other people in the class that are starting football. They're not doing very well. And I know you'd be more than happy to help them, not only as a friend, but as a fellow captain of the football team. And so now he's starting to be revered as not only a great football player, which he was before, but also as somebody who was smart in biology. And so why do I bring this up to you? I bring this up to you because that's one reason people become difficult. Because they don't want to put the time in. They want everything easy. Or they don't want to be humble. They don't want to show respect. They want to be a clown. Because being a clown is a lot more fun than learning, right? But you see, when you make a choice in life to not learn and fail, then a choice is made for you, which is maybe you're benched on the football team. So he made the choice now to study, and so now he can play football, and he's the captain. But that took him almost being thrown off the team or benched, which is like being thrown off the team because when you're benched, you can't really play. And that's one kind of a difficult person. Another difficult type of person is someone that, or I should say, difficult personality, is someone that you're, as we mentioned, is a pleaser. So the person that is trying to please the person is not the difficult person. It's the one that they're trying to please. And so by being a pleaser, you do everything that they want, but that person might be really, how can I say, a problem. And so that can be a big problem, right? But also, what could be a big problem is the one doing the pleasing, because that person doesn't have enough, how can I say, respect in themselves to stop this. So, in short, dealing with difficult behaviors is not an easy thing. We talked about when you should get help, when it gets beyond your control, and that's when it becomes verbal or physical. When you feel threatened, right? But all difficult behaviors are really people that are crying out for help, whether they need help health, whether they need help in relationships, they need help in sports, they need help at a skill, they need help with something. They're crying for help. And so when people see this, a lot of, oh, the person's just a jerk. No, they're not a jerk. Something happened in their life. And chances are, if you befriend them and get close enough to them, you're probably going to learn why they're being this way. And then they're probably going to stop because they're going to share something with you that's very personal. Now, in wrapping up tonight, I want you to understand that you're going to come across difficult behaviors in your life. Remember, they're not difficult people, they're difficult behaviors. And remember to be kind, to be respectful, okay? But don't let a person become abusive or threatening to you, whether that's verbally, whether that's physically. Don't allow that, because as you enable a behavior, it causes them to continue. If you say nothing and you stay present, I'm going to give you an example, my last example tonight. If someone's in a meeting, and let's just say you're talking with someone and they say some things and you don't agree with them, okay? But the fact that you're just staying there, okay, is supporting them. If you say something, you speak up, now they know you're in disagreement. But just the fact of you being there and doing nothing means that you're enabling them. You're enabling that kind of behavior. No one has room for negative people in their life. Ladies and gentlemen, I am John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. It has been an amazing privilege, pleasure, and honor to be with you this week. But a lot of people you're going to talk to don't want to hear what I'm going to tell you and what you've heard this entire week. They know it all, and they don't ever want to admit this, like the kid that was the varsity captain, until he was almost thrown off the team. Do you need to be almost thrown off your game before you wake up and decide to make a change? Make the change. Don't let people abuse you. You have rights just like everybody else does. But start being a little selfish, because sometimes others may take advantage of you. And a lot of times I tell people, don't take my good nature, okay, for being weak, because I'm not weak. And you know, ladies and gentlemen, that this is a choice that you need to make. I've given you some great information this week. Choose to apply it. Just remember that if you were in that person's shoes, how would you want somebody to talk to you? And that's the best advice I can give you. Well, remember to share this out. Go to youtube.com, type my name, John space E space MORLEY space serial entrepreneur. Look for the key phrase, help keep our content free. Below that, click on the link and make the choice to buy my team and I a cup of coffee. We'll be so grateful with those pennies and those dollars. We'll invest them into new hardware, new technology, new equipment, new people, and even new facilities and staff to give you the best jaw-dropping motivational content. So the next time you're with a difficult behavior, or if you are the difficult behavior, think about having the shoe on the other foot and how that other person feels right now, or how they feel if the other person was the one that was actually doing the difficult behavior. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. We'll see you tomorrow night. We'll be talking about the brain. You are not going to want to miss that. We're going to get into neurons. We're going to get into so many great things that I think is just going to blow in your life. How are you, Scub? It's great to see you. I'm glad to see that it changed your life. I'm always happy to help people. And what we're going to be doing with the brain, we're going to give you some tips and hacks that are going to allow you to just skip past all those things. The other day, I helped somebody get rid of a limiting belief. Okay. And when I asked them to think about that again, they could think about it, but they couldn't make it connect, because what I did with them actually got rid of the behavior. So if you thought about it, it's like, I can't complete the circuit. The brain wasn't allowing it to take that suggestion. Have yourself a great night. I had so much fun, and I can't wait to start presenting to you guys about the brain. Have a great night, everyone. Take care.